Have you ever left the dealership after buying a car to find out that you got charged for a bunch of stuff you had no idea about? Don't worry, you're not alone. The finance managers are some of the highest paid individuals at the dealership. And since most, if not all of their income comes directly from commission, you know they are great at what they do. Over the last several weeks, we discussed the various different fees and add-ons that you should never pay at the car dealership. And today we're gonna wrap up that segment with dealership service contracts. So let's step behind the desk to find out if any of these service contracts are any good or just another scam to pull money out of your pocket. Welcome back to Behind the Desk. My name is Daryl, aka Mullet D, aka the Service Contract Sensei. Today we are talking dealership service contracts. But before we get started, make sure you click that subscribe button and ding the bell icon. That way you can stay up to date on all my videos. Speaking of staying up to date, last Monday I uploaded a video comparing the different types of dealership extended warranties. So if you haven't already, go check that one out. It's going to play directly into today's subject. So what do we mean by dealership service contracts? These are the services, things like warranties or oil changes, tire and wheel coverage, among others, that are usually offered by or oftentimes snuck into your car deal by the finance department. But what makes these things different than a fee or an add-on? Well, for starters, fees and add-ons are considered front-end fees, while service contracts fall under what's called a back-end fee.
Daryl, why are you talking about my front end and my back end?
Let me break it down for you. Front-end fees are inescapable once you finalize your vehicle purchase. The one thing that makes back-end fees a little less scary is that they're often cancelable, which means even if they are snuck into your purchase, you may be able to cancel those items for a full or partial refund. The bigger downside comes when you're financing your vehicle though. You can still cancel these items when you finance, however, canceling them is not gonna adjust your monthly payment. It will only take the refunded amount off your principal loan balance. So now that we know how these types of fees are different, let's talk about exactly what service contracts are and which ones you should avoid. Starting with extended warranties and extended service contracts. I spoke about these in depth last week, but to reiterate it, if you're worried about the cost of repairs on your vehicle and would rather have that peace of mind that if something did happen, you wouldn't be coming out of pocket for the repair costs, then do your research on these. Named exclusion plans do the best job of keeping you covered here, but only if you get them at the right price. If you are financing, you will more than likely be offered gap protection. Now, gap is something I will always support and recommend if you are financing and not putting a substantial amount of down payment, and especially if you're adding negative equity from your trade vehicle. Look at it this way. When you lease a car, gap is always included, because it protects the bank who owns that car in the event of a total loss. You should always protect yourself in the same way. Now, there are insurance companies that offer gap as well, but I'll say two things about that. First of all, the reason you need gap is because your insurance company is not covering the amount you owe on the vehicle, but instead what they decide it is worth. So you're basically paying the company you're already paying to cover your vehicle to cover the amount they didn't cover. Second, do your research. From the dealer, you will pay the total amount of gap up front, while through your insurance, you'll often pay monthly. So consider the total charge both ways. And finally, check the coverage percentage. Some GAP plans have a percentage that they will cover and they won't go above it. So do the math and figure out if it will cover your whole loan. Prepaid maintenance contracts. Pretty self-explanatory here. This prepays certain maintenance on your vehicle purchase. Sometimes it's just oil changes, sometimes it's more. So confirm these coverages before you ever consider purchasing this service contract. Are they worth it? No, not really. Thing is, there's always a better deal on services out in the world. So while you can negotiate these items down to the point that you'll pay less to get an oil change at the dealership than the normal price, there are always specials going on, and other locations you can often get these services done substantially cheaper. Tire, wheel protection, and windshield replacement. Now, if you live in an area that is eternally under construction, or you're just prone to nails in your tires or running your rims into the curb, then there might be some value in this one at the right price. If you're leasing a vehicle, you may see something called wear and tear protection. This is put in place to cover any additional wear and tear your lease vehicle obtains during your ownership. That way, when you turn the vehicle in, you're not paying any additional money on top of any mileage overages or the disposition fee if applicable. But here's the thing. The manufacturer accounts for normal wear and tear based on the mileage and how long you had the lease for. So most things won't impact you here. On top of that, most leases have a built-in $500 or more to account for excess wear and tear. So unless you plan on being extremely hard on your vehicle, I'd consider skipping this one. And finally, the complete rip-off, scam, nonsense service contract to rule them all. Credit insurance and payment protection. Now, you'll know you're being conned into this product when the finance team asks you,
in the event of your untimely death or disability, who would you like the free and clear title to be made out to?
What this service contract does is actually pretty good. If you lose your job or you have an accident that keeps you out of work, leaves you unable to work, or worst case scenario causes your death, your payments can be taken care of. And it's one less thing your loved ones need to worry about. But the cost of the service contract far outweighs its benefits. First of all, so little of these contracts are ever actually used. And you can find far more affordable options in term life insurance policies to help if you fall into any of those circumstances. So please do yourself a favor and avoid this one at all costs. So that's it. Vehicle service contracts the finance manager will inevitably try and push on you. If you felt like there were some items missing here, chances are I covered them in either my video on dealership fees you should never pay or on the video for dealership add-on fees you should never pay. If you still feel like something is missing here, then hit me up by leaving a comment down below. That way I can cover it in a future video. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you can stay up to date on all the best ways to beat the dealership and get a good deal the next time you're ready to buy a car. Like and share this video as it helps me a ton. And in turn, you may be getting some good karma points by helping someone else out when they don't get ripped off the next time they're in the dealership. I look forward to seeing you all on Monday when we'll be kicking off a brand new segment. Till next time, this is Daryl with Behind the Desk.